morning, students. Welcome to my class. Today we are going to review the future with be going to. But at the beginning, we are going to remember the topic of the last class. Remember, the last classes we review present simple, present continuous in order to speak about the future. Also, we review the future simple. Okay? So tell me, when do you use the future simple? Okay, we are going to use the future simple in order to make a predictions. Okay? So, can you tell me any example of that? That's right. For example, I will cook pizza tomorrow. Okay? So that is a little easy. As I said before, today we are going to review the future with be going to. And what is the objective for today? To identify the use of the future going to through sentences to use the tense in context. Okay, so today we are going to review in which case you can use the future with be going to. Okay, so can you tell me when do you use the future with be going to? Can you tell me what is the structure? Okay, so today we are going to review that, so pay attention. Okay, we are going to use the future be going to in order to speak about a future plans. Okay, remember our plans have to be previous plans. Okay, you have to plan. Okay, pay attention to the first example. Oh, we have many plans. We are going to have a great time. What are you going to do in China? Okay, in this case, I am using be going to in order to speak about a future events. Okay. In this part, we can see the use of be going to, the structure in affirmative and in questions. Okay, so we are going to check more. Pay attention here. When do you use be going to? We are going to use be going to in order to talk about future events. Okay? Pay attention to the examples. They are going to take a boat down the Yangtze River next week. Pay attention to the second example. I am going to try local Chinese food tomorrow. Okay, we are going to focus in that part. Okay, in this case, I am speaking about the future, that is my future plan. Pay attention to the structure. In this case, I am using the verb to be, in this case are, going to, and the verb in the base form. That is the same. In this case, I am using am, going to try. Pay attention to that words. That are time expressions, okay? Those kind of expression indicates that we are speaking about the future. Tomorrow, next week, next day, next month, next year. Okay, so we can identify the sentence in future if they have those kind of time expressions. Okay, we are going to see the structure in order you can understand better. Okay, pay attention here. What is the form? To form the future with be going to, use am, is, or are. Remember, that are the conjugations of the verb to be, because the verb to be is an irregular verb, plus going to, plus the base form of the verb. Okay, so here we have some examples with the structure. Okay, so in order to form sentences using be going to, we are going to use at the beginning part the subject. Then we are going to use the verb to be. But remember, you have to conjugate it according to the subject. For example, in this case, I am using am because the subject I. In this case, is because the subject is Sandy. Remember, Sandy is a name that is referred to third singular person. Se refiere a la tercera persona singular, she. Remember, for he, she, it, I am going to use is. And they, that is plural, so I am using are. Remember, am for I, he, she, it, is, they, you, we, are. Okay, so remember, you have to conjugate the verb to be according to the subject. Then you are going to use the going to and the verb in the base form: study, visit, travel. Okay, that is the base form of the verb. And the complement. Okay, that is simple. I am going to read examples. I am going to study Chinese. Sandy is going to visit museums. They are going to travel to Beijing. Okay, that is the form, that is the structure, that is simple. Okay, we are going to make an exercise in order to practice. Okay, practice number 1. Look at the chart. Use be going to plus a base form of the verb to describe the vacation plans of the people below. Okay, here you have the person, the subjects, and the future plans. For example, Mr. John is going to watch a parade. In this case, I am using my subject and be going to. In this case, is because that is third singular person. Mr. John is going to watch a parade. The example number 2. Mr. Jones, take a photograph. I am going to use in future. Mr. Jones is going to take photographs. Okay, remember, I am using is because that is third singular person. In that part, Mr. and Miss Jones see famous places. In this case, my subject, they are plural. Mr. and Miss Jones are going to see famous places. Okay, so that is a little simple. Okay, we are going to check negative statements. Okay, so pay attention. To make negative sentence, place not before going to. Okay, that is simple. Negative statements have the same structure of affirmative sentence, but the only thing is that you are going to add the word not before going to. Okay, that is the place in which you are going to put the word not. She is not or she isn't going to go to the zoo. In that case, they are not going to take a bus, or the contraction, they aren't going to take a bus. That is the same. You are going to use the subject, the verb to be, the word not in order to make negative statements, going to, and the verb in the base form. Also the complement. Okay? So I think that is easy. So we are going to review the contractions. Pay attention. Use the contractions in speaking and informal writing. Okay, in this case you can use contractions. For example, the concert, that is affirmative sentence. The concert's going to start soon. Okay, in this case I am using the contraction with is, or maybe you can use the contraction with the verb to be are. The concerts are going to start soon. Okay, in this case we have a negative sentence. In this case, we aren't going to buy souvenirs. That is a contraction in singular way. For example, she isn't going to buy souvenirs. Okay, that is the same. You can make contractions in speaking and in informal writing in that way. Okay, remember, the last classes we review the use of will, of the use of be going to. Today we are going to review the difference between both future tenses. Okay, remember, we are going to use will and going to in order to speak about the future. What is the difference? Pay attention. We are going to use will in order to express future actions decided at the moment of speaking. It means immediate decision. It means spontaneous decisions. Okay, for example, I will have salad now. Okay, that is my future action that I think in this moment. Okay, speaking about the future, we are going to see going to. Express future plans decided before the moment of speaking, a prior plans. Okay, so we are going to use going to in order to speak a previous plan. You have to plan, and then you are going to say in future with going to. For example, I am going to visit my aunt next Friday. Okay, that is a prior plans. Okay, The second difference, express a prediction based on personal opinions or evidence. Okay, so I am going to use the future will in order to speak about a prediction, about my opinion, about my beliefs or my experience. Okay, for example, I think United will win the game. Okay, in this case that is my opinion. I am speaking about the future. In the second, express a prediction based on present evidence. Okay, in this case, in order to make a prediction about the future, if you want to use going to, you need to present your evidence. For example, look at those black clouds. It is going to rain. In this case, that is my evidence, the black clouds. So for this reason, that is my evidence, I can use going to in order to speak about the future. It is going to rain. Express a future fact. The sun will rise tomorrow. Okay? That is the same. That is related about a prediction or my opinion. That is a fact. Okay? And express something is about to happen. Get back. The bomb is going to explode. Okay, in this case you are going to use when the action of the future is going to happen immediately. Okay, get back. The bomb is going to explode. Okay, in this case that is maybe that is related with present evidence. So that is all. Pay attention here. Both will and going to can be used for making future predictions without having a real difference in meaning. Okay, it means that we can use both tense in order to speak about the future, and the difference is not so high because you have to know that, for example, I can say I will visit my own next Friday. Right now you know that I am using will because that is a spontaneous decision. But if I use I am going to visit my own next Friday, you know that I am using going to because that is a prior plan. But both sentences are correct. So it's important that you know the difference between both tenses. Okay? So thank you, students. That is all for today. I hope that you have learned more about that. And thank you. Have a nice day. Goodbye.